Anyway, Dennis, did we get any word from? I sent Dan and all of them Skypes and everything else to see. Good morning. Area code 563 that just joined us. What's your first name?
Linda.
Linda?
Yes.
Hi, Linda.
Hey, the answer is no. I got his machine, left a message for him, told him we're here. I'll relate a funny story in a minute when we get started about. He had a very rough day, getting from Atlantic City up to Toronto. So that could be it, but nonetheless.
I see. Well, hopefully he's not stuck at the border. I've been there before. Good morning. Good morning.
I would guess with the weather, it'd be a terrible time getting up there.
Especially when you forgot your passport.
Oops.
Good morning, Mary.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Good. We just had somebody enter area code 727 there in Florida. Who is that? First name?
This is Todd from Clearwater.
Hey, Todd. How you doing? Yep.
Okay, good morning.
Good. And somebody also entered from 817 area code. Who's that?
It's Randy at Tech.
Hey, Randy. I'm just putting names. It's just so. The reason I ask that is when the board shows up here, when I look, I put this in and it permanently stays in. So when your number comes in, when you dial in, your first name sits next to there. That way we know if we have new people and so on and so forth. So, morning, Robert.
Good morning.
How are you? Good morning. In area code 972, who's that? First name you just entered. Okay. All righty. Good morning.
Kevin
Good morning.
Brown, 972 number.
Oh, good, Kevin. How you doing? Good morning.
I'm doing great, thanks.
Okay, got you in there now. I didn't put your last name in there, so we know.
Good morning, Joe. This is Agaja in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yes, it is. I see you there, Agaja. Welcome. And I also see someone came in on Skype. I never know. Every time it comes in on Skype, it says Joe, so I don't know what that means. But anyway, good morning. All right. So anyway, let's get going here. We're at the top of the hour. I'm going to turn off these tones. And I'm going to leave the line unmuted, I guess, because, but please be careful, respectful, cautious of background noise. Dennis, what's the code for blocking it out? 6-star? 5-star?
No, 4-star. 4-star will mute any background noise out.
Okay, so if you're doing something back there and cooking or shuffling papers, hit 4-star, and then if you actually, maybe all of you ought to do that, then you can come back in by hitting 4-star again if you have something to say. But I do hear some background noise. It sounds like a radio, so please don't make me mute the whole call out because there's some people that want to stay open here. Good morning, Tom Richardson, and we shall get together today. I want you to know that's on my agenda. And Dan Giralmo from Atlantic City, New Jersey. There you go. We were waiting for you. I've been pretending to be busy while waiting.
We've been technically challenged a little bit. You got two knuckleheads with more smart technology that makes us not look as quite as smart as we'd like to be.
Hey, I have a question because we have a question on the board. Area code 914. You have raised your hand, but what is your first name? Dan, we got a lot of background noise on your end.
Not mine.
Really, not you? Okay. Area code 914. What is your first name? Okay, I see your hand raised, but I just muted your line, so if I can't, let me see. I'm going to mute the whole call. I mean, somebody's got some serious background noise here. 4-star. Somebody hit 4-star, please, on your back on your. Let me mute the whole call, Dan. That's the only way I can do it.
That's purposely disruptive.
Conference muted.
Okay. You're right, Dan. It wasn't you. Good thing you didn't get caught in that.
I get caught in a lot of things, but that's okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move along here. We got a hand raised with somebody, but in order to ask a question, You need to unmute your line, which I just did for you, and then we did not hear from you, so I muted your line back out again. I'll leave your hand raised and go back, but when you do come in, just identify yourself. First name is fine, and then ask your question. So that's the format. Dan Girolamo, let's get right to the point here. How's things going there in Atlantic City, New Jersey?
Atlantic City's done and gone. We're in Toronto.
Oh, yeah, I knew that. How did it go in Atlantic City?
It went great. I think for the first event, we had some challenges with some hotel arrangements that that didn't get synced quite right. We're here in Toronto, and we want to apologize to anybody who tried to make it to the event and was misdirected to the room. I really want to extend an apology for that. And I hope that you connected and were able to make it to the right venue. Here in Toronto, we're at the Airport Toronto Hilton, and we have an entire floor for us up here. We're looking forward to the event tonight, and it's been a pleasure to be with the upper leadership and ownership of KB Karatbars, and to be associated with the direction that we are going. Guys, we have a unbelievable direction this company has been moving into, and I encourage you to get to the events and make it all the way through to the end. Some people had transportation challenges, had to leave early. And we encourage everybody to plan on that and get to that venue and do whatever it takes to make it through the entire to the entire end, depending on how you have to get there.
Good. So Dan, tell us a little bit about. Were you a speaker at this, or did you talk at all, or who was mainly talking, and what went on?
Thomas Schranner, primarily Harold Seitz, was doing the main part of the venue, and then Jimmy Larson got up and really talked about the future plans as we went into going into the new global expansion, and then we had a few minutes from each of us on the trip. And it was really good. I'm really expecting this to be the top venue for us right here, right now. But each one, guys, get people to the next events. We will be having more and more and more streamlined program for you. And I tell you what, it's been great seeing people eyeball to eyeball. There's nothing like it. There were some people that went through extreme adversities to make it to the Atlantic City meeting, and I'm going to tell you that they will be the ones that got the vision, picked up the ball, and going to work this. We look forward to seeing you there, and you too. And here's Joe Norman.
Hey guys, just got back from a meeting with Thomas Schranner and
Hey Joe. Can you give us a little bit of summary on the direction? Dan just mentioned that they talked about the direction, the future of the company. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh boy, yeah. Just picking their brain and just trying to get on the same page of where they're wanting to go. And Harold is more and more pulling away from KB Edelmetall and their approach. They still are just moving at such a snail's pace with their manual system. And Harold has a real vision that you just have to be around him to feel it with this Karatbars brand. And those of you that are involved in business understand how important branding is. And it's just like when you hear or think about a cola, the first cola that comes to mind is Coke. Same thing with those little sticks with those fuzzies on both ends. People think of those, they think of Q-tips. They're not Q-tips. That's just the company that dominates the industry. And it's the same thing with Kinnabar. We've used that name enough. Enough's enough. We've proven over the last year that we are outselling UBS 4 or 5 to 1. It's us. It's KB that is the market leader, not them, not UBS. Therefore, Harold has created a company called Carrot Bars, another company. And he has trademarked and licensed that name, and he basically has issued the challenge to us, the leaders, and you, the leaders, to help me brand this name. Stop using Kinnabar, because you're just building UBS brand by using that name, and it's just an education. Now is the time to make that split, that change, that vocabulary change, because I believe, and I think we all do, that in another year you won't think about Kinnabar, you'll think Carrot Bars. They are the market leader, they are the Coke, they are the Q-tip, not UBS. So UBS was the first to initiate and deploy that concept, yes, but they're not the market leader. KB is. So it's important that we understand that, and I do know also, moving forward, we were just talking about, where they see this going with Carrot Bars, and they think that, in time, that will be the name of the company. As we know it, will be Carrot Bars and not KB. So that's kind of one of the things that we were discussing this morning, as well as Harold is always thinking of the future, and with the future in mind, they've actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 companies now added into the mix that we didn't know about. You got KB Vision, you've got Carrot Bars, you've got Carrot Bars Europe, which is headquartered in Stuttgart. You got Carrot Bars Asia, which we have an office in Thailand. You've got World Orem, which we all know about World Orem, which we won't get into too much about that, but guys, he broke down the details on World Orem, and Joe, oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, game-changing. I'm overwhelmed by what Harold's doing with that and working behind the scenes, and before they even release it, this thing is going to be insane. And they've got Carrot Bars Americas, that's plural, Carrot Bars Americas, as an additional company that's going to be headquartered and is headquartered in Belize. So that's where the management team, Jimmy Thomas, and their head attorney and head accountant are all flying down there after the USA-Canada tour to set up the operations center, which is going to have a call center, and eventually a refinery and storage there in Belize for the Americas. So all this is in the works and more. So Harold's done a very good job with his English, and he does a presentation, then hands it over to Jimmy, and then we all speak, and then 3 hours later, it's been a successful event. So I guess that's the recap. Back to you, Joe.
Okay, very, very good. Dan Girolamo, anything you can add to that? Or, I mean, it's a mouthful there, so looks like we have lots of changes and good changes. Sounds like Joe's really excited, Dan. I don't know if I've ever heard Joe Norman this excited.
Well, let me tell you right now, anybody who gets these events, we're having more and more meetings set up before and after. Like I said, I greatly encourage everybody to get to an event that can get to one and bring some people with you. Now, we are going to establish and make an announcement.
After the tour,
Yeah.
we're going to have Joe, after the tour, what we're going to do is we are going to have a webinar, and we're going to use a format where we can have thousands of people on there, because what we're going to do is we're going to basically do a recap of the tour, give basically a condensed version of KB past, present, and future, so everyone's on the same page where we go from now. And then we're also going to announce the following Saturday, we're going to do a 2 to 3 hour intense training, because there's a lot of people that have lost their way. There's a lot of people that have one leg, one line with a lot of people in it that are getting cut off, and their businesses are not what they should be. You know, it's kind of like building a really awesome website, but you haven't monetized it yet. A lot of people have, you know, pretty good-sized organizations, but they're not making the kind of money they should. Well, we're going to do a training to fix that and fix it quickly. We've got it all laid out. Boomer and I and Lloyd put kind of finishing touches on it this morning over breakfast, and guys, I'm telling you, all of you, even ones that are happy with the money that you're making, you attend this training, you'll see the very next check, 400 to 500% increase in your money if you deploy and do the things that we show you to do.
And Joe, that's going to require some vocabulary and communication adjustments, definitely.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, I'm anxious. I'm anxious to get in these classes. Very cool. Very, very good. All right, so the agenda tonight is, why don't we go over that a little bit for the Toronto people up there and anybody listening in Canada. Let's go through that, and those people who have any connections there in Toronto, you'll send them up to meet Joe and Dan and Cheryl. So why don't we give some direction or some insight on what's happening tonight and times and where it is.
That information you can see at mykbgold.us under the USA Canada Tour. That's at 6 o'clock tonight, 6 to 9. 6 o'clock is for the first 30 minutes is a meet and greet, and we'll and eat. And there'll be a pay bar there, and then we have that's at 5875 Airport Road in Mississauga, Ontario, which is in Toronto, right across from the airport, Hilton Toronto Airport Hotel. And we'll have the entire Joe, is it second floor? I don't know where it is. Just ask the front desk, or you'll see a sign in the lobby when you come in. Just get there, okay? First we'll have an introduction, and then either Thomas or Harold will pick up the event, and then we will probably have something similar lineup as we did before, and also some recognition for the leaders that have stepped up here. And for those that qualified, we have some pins made from the corporation. So we're looking forward to seeing everybody out there. It's not too late. Make calls, get people there, invite them. Information's free. I tell you what, we have a lot of top-notch people, as well as just the gal who's concerned about her family's finances and wants to know how she can institute a real savings program, not one that's gonna nickel and dime her like her bank does, but preserve their wealth. So we're looking forward to having everybody out here tonight and promote Chicago. And Vancouver, we're going to have the filming crew from KB Gold Systems. We'll also be in there doing some promotions, as well as filming clips to enhance their system. They'll be in Vancouver, LA, and Las Vegas. And each city we'd like to see build, because going into this new year, this is going to be the mantra on fire, guys, right here. And I have no doubt that the people that pick up, follow what we do, and get people organized in a streamlined fashion, make it simple, and use the new terminology, are going to have an explosion. Opportunists are going to come out of the woodwork for this, even more so than they did with what we already have. And that's about it, Joe.
All right. Well, look, let's open this up right here. I do have that person who has their hand raised. I didn't lower your hand. Area code is 914. This is probably the second or third time I've tried this, so I'm going to try it again. I'm going to open your line. please identify yourself first and then ask your question. Area code 914, and your number ends in 32. Your line is unmuted. Welcome to the Breakfast Club. Going once, going twice, and we are going back to mute. One more time. Area code 914. Your line is open, and you can ask your question. Okay, line is now muted. I am going to lower that hand and move on. Questions? You guys want to talk to Dan or Joe? Holler in. 5-star.
So this is Dennis. Yeah, this is Dennis. Joe, is today the last day for this pay cycle for people to make purchases?
Yeah, Joe had to step out for a minute on another appointment. He'll be back in a couple of minutes. Yes, it is. Today is the last day for the qualifications for this pay cycle. Yes, that is correct. And we have some other promotions that will be rolled out that we'll discuss at the meetings and bring them to the table here. You'll hear about them in a KV newsletter.
Okay, great.
All right, we got the hand raised. Go ahead, Dennis.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I got a hand raised. I just wanted to see what were you going to ask. Let's get Mary. Mary has a question, so I'm going to unmute your line, Mary. But Dennis, ask your question or whatever you're doing there.
Yeah, this is Mary Boydell.
Hello, Mary.
Hi, Mary.
I have someone who would like to cancel. They just don't want to be part of the program anymore. How do I actually do that?
How do you cancel your? You know what? Just don't do anything. You don't want to do anything?
I mean, there's nothing to cancel, Mary. Let me address that. Nothing to cancel. She's registered. Then nobody can do anything. There's nothing. Her account it'll just eventually get purged from the system, and it doesn't because it's free. Because it was a free registration, there's no reason to go in and cancel the account. Eventually it'll get purged.
Okay, then once it's purged, does the person downline just move up to the?
Well, it does anyway because it's compression. So if she's not purchasing or anything, it just compresses it anyway. So it doesn't matter.
The account is always there. If they ever want to activate it, great. If they don't want to activate it, they're not obligated to activate it. And maybe that's part of the terminology we're going to use on our new...
Yeah, I like that, Dan. Use the word activation. It's never been activated. And if she's not activated, it's not active. So she doesn't have an active account. That's what I would say. And if she's not purchasing...
You don't get charged any fees. The reality is we want to help people promote savings. The country is in deep trouble, and the main reason is we're better spenders than we are savers. You compare KB's retention of value for a savings account to any bank you've got, just to preserve what you got. Even my savings bank at my regular bank charges some fees somewhere down the line on my account, regardless. And every dollar I have in paper in that is losing value annually. Losing it. We are not at a position like we were ever before in history. And I guess it comes down to the question, brass knuckles question. Do you think that any politician, I don't care whatever party, is going to do what is necessary to fix this situation with our money in an election year? If you think so, then you don't need a KV account. If you don't, then you need to everybody needs to find a way to protect what they have right now, because when we're at 102% debt to GDP, this is a different game, guys. We've never been on this before, ever. And it's time to wake up, grab a hold, get the lingo, learn it, put it in front of people in the right frame so that you can communicate the idea to them. And you know what? Open up and fund an account. It's preserved there. This isn't an in and out checking account. This is a real, true savings account that's going to preserve your wealth. Watch what's happening going on with the markets and the currencies, and in different countries. You wait, watch what's going to happen. What the challenges that are going on right now in Europe. All that stuff is just nothing but a whirlpool of challenges that is going to face every single economy in the world. And nobody, if you think that the government's going to always take care of you, always may not be as long as you think it is. That's all I have to say. That's it.
Hey, Dr. Dennis, you had something to say here? We're about at the bottom of the hour, and we're going to...
No, I was just going to have fun with this. I was going to ask Boomer how he's resisted saying A after every sentence, but apparently
he got it down. You kidding me? Bands in stone. All right, well, let's do this. I don't see any more questions. Mary, thanks for the questions, and got some solid answers here. Looks like Dan and Joe are having an exciting time. Dan, keep having fun and education. Looking forward to having the education when you guys return. Thanks for participating, everybody. And Dennis, for Dennis Steigerwald and Dan and Joe, this is Joe Shoop. Have a great day, everybody.
Blessings, guys.